Chapter 1221. Anthony on tour, trade commences. A big day. An exciting day. The warehouse complex the colony has been housed in is absolutely buzzing with activity. My siblings are working like industrious ants, I suppose. As to be expected, everything is being unpacked and readied, subjected to last-minute inspections and quality controls. It doesn't take long for the head of the column to be prepared, and finally I am free to emerge from my warehouse and take my place. It's not that I need to be at the front for my own sake, but for whatever reason, that's where they insist I go. Me and my guards, of course, because they haven't so much as taken a toilet break in 2 days. Remarkable stamina. Where are they keeping it? I won't ask. Enid, coming along to see the big event? I ask, spotting the old woman riding in a litter carried between 2 ants. She looks absolutely disgusted to be receiving such treatment, but there's no way they were going to let her walk. It's almost hilarious to see just how much she resents being doted on in this way. Yes, suffer through the indulgence, old woman. We will ensure you enjoy a long and comfortable retirement, no matter the cost. Gway hey hey hey. And with that, the procession is on its way, with more and more ants falling in behind. The roads in the Silver City are wide and spacious, easily enough room for us to march toward our destination. At various points, guards are stationed to help guide the flow of traffic around us, emphasizing just what a well-run and organized place this really is. It's my second time walking through the city, and once again, I'm struck by the beauty of the place. Every building is coated in that lustrous, almost ethereal silver metal, but there is a surprising amount of green everywhere. Almost every building, whether it's a shop front or a residence, has some form of hanging garden, or row of blooming pots, groaning with flowers and greenery. Along the side of the streets, there are tall trees rising, offering shade and a sweet scent that fills the air. Whoever they hired to design this place really earned their pay is all I'm trying to say. I mean, dang, place is nice. Then I lay 1,000 lenses upon the building we're hosting our trade event in and my impression only goes up. Clearly an event space of some kind, it's a massive dome which is completely open beneath, held up by gorgeous pillars. Each one of the gleaming metal pillars is sculpted as a different person, and I'm sure every one of them is some important figure to the Atrium Empire. Stunningly lifelike, I can only hope that Michelangelo is made to see these. Then that damn ant can see some real art and suffer the pain of being made to see someone else do it better. At the very least, appreciate that they aren't all the same person. Variety is the spice of life. The area immediately around the dome is occupied with an elegant garden, replete with ponds and a trickling stream that runs all the way around. Bridges and steps lead up the floor of the dome, which we ascend, and then take in the view of the surrounding city. We're going to have to beautify our nests, seriously. I refuse to lose to these humans this badly, damn it. I'm going to institute a beautification committee the second we get back. Eldest, I think there's a platform in the middle that the Iran wants you to stand on. Seriously, they want me posed on a platform looking shiny for everyone to admire. I don't think she mentioned anything about shininess or admiration, but she definitely said something about a platform. Ah, yes, I can see it over there. Be that way. Yes, now that we get closer, I can see it as well. It's not super tall or anything, probably only a few feet. Resigned to my fate, I head on. Over and flop down on it. How do you like it? Enid snipes as she's put down beside me. Being treated as useless. Enid, what do you think I could even do around here? Help set up the stalls. Look at the size of my mandibles. I flex them for emphasis. What use am I for something like this? None at all. The colony wants me to stand around and look impressive. I can handle that. Now you, on the other hand, you are truly useless. I'm not here to help anyway, she sniffs, I'm here sightseeing and enjoying retirement. Could have fooled me. You look like you want to get up and run a stall, get some haggling in. That's not work, that's leisure for me. I knew it. As Enid and I bicker back and forth good-naturedly, the stalls begin to take shape around us. Iran is a constant presence, along with the Brathian inner circle. She's sourced all sorts of fancy stuff to make our market presentation look more impressive, and I have to say, it does seem to be doing the trick. As things start to take shape, I have to admit it all looks very classy, very tasteful. We're really going all out here in the Silver City, hoping to make a good impression, and I'm sure that we will. I doubt anything we have to offer will be close to the highest quality available in this place, but there's no way they can beat our prices. Gway hey hey hey. With a few hours to go, everything is put together with remarkable speed and efficiency. Honestly, it's fun to watch. I'm not one of the crafters in the colony, and honestly, I'm never going to be, but I'm glad to see those ants who decided they really wanted to specialize in flowerpot making or carpet weaving get their chance to shine and perform an invaluable service for the family. I can practically see them swelling with pride. Before long, the customers will arrive, and it'll be show time. This is a one-day event, so we have to make a good first impression. Chapter 12:22, Anthony on Tour, Trading Day. When the customers come, they come in a flood. I want to emphasize that I don't use that word lightly. I have no idea how many people live in the Silver City, but I'm guessing it's something along the lines of many. Much like Freehill, home of the folk, pretty much the entire mountain is claimed by the city, but unlike Freehill, the whole dang thing is built up. Keep in mind, these mountains make Earth Mountains look like hills. Fourth stratum mountains point and laugh at Earth Mountains, when they can see them due to Earth Mountains being too dang short. So how many people live here? It's a heck of a lot. There's no way this city could possibly sustain itself without portal technology. I wonder how much land in the Atrium Empire is dedicated just to feeding this monstrosity. Surely there are multiple mountains they own in the fourth, along with a significant chunk of land on the surface solely dedicated to that purpose. Surprisingly, despite the hurrying throngs, things start out pretty well. The nature of the dome, being totally open, allows for the flow of traffic, and so long as the ants running the stalls are moving people on swiftly, there isn't a chance for a traffic jam to develop. Credit for this also goes to the excellent work done in the planning phase. The layout ensures that the most in-demand stalls are spread evenly throughout the event space and never in places that might create bottlenecks. Sloan and Iran Thoris have done excellent work. As for me, I'm busy being beautiful, no more flopping about for me, I'm standing tall and proud. Every now and again, I flex my mandibles or send my massive antennae sweeping over the crowd, much to the delight and interest of the locals. I have to say, the most popular attraction at this event appears to be myself. Hey, not that I can blame them. My gravity-compressed diamond carapace gleams with a deep and mysterious light, my eyes glow with an unfathomable purpose and my mandibles thrill with their power and sharpness. There is no finer example of the ant form than me, and since the ant form is the most superior of all the monsters, there is no finer monster than myself in all of Pangara. May as well come and get a look while you can. To be honest, I'm kind of shocked at how comfortable the people of the Silver City are at getting close to me. Mothers come along with their children at their heels, pointing up at me as the little ones stare. Young men and women stroll along, arm in arm, whispering to each other as they look at my incredible visage. Nobody seems nervous at all. It's kind of refreshing, if I'm honest. As I perform another broad sweep of the antennae, I spot a familiar face and decide to extend a mind bridge for a quick chat. Looking stunning only takes a small part of my mental capacity, after all, not because I have so much of it, but because being this appealing takes almost no effort. I'm bored, not sure if I expected you to show up, Mr. Rathwin. Or should that be Mage Rathwin? The silver-haired mage chuckles as he walks around to stand in front of me. A few from the tower have come to take a look around, so I decided to join them. It isn't often we scholars are able to witness something like this. There have been many species of monster who tried to form societies, some of which still exist, but I don't think there has ever been one who acted as cooperatively as the colony. How are my compatriots supposed to resist? As long as they don't want any live samples, I say, half-jokingly. We arrived with 10,000, and that's how many I'd hope to leave with. We have a fairly strong board of ethics, he responds dryly. They don't look too kindly on kidnapping and involuntary incarceration. That wasn't always the case, mind you, but over the last 300 years, the tower has been on the straight and narrow. That's a relief. The last thing I want is for one of my sisters to become a specimen. But not you. Wouldn't be the first time. I shrug my antennae. I'd rather it be me than them, though I'm sure they don't agree. We do not agree, Protectant mutters from on my back. How the heck did she sneak onto this mind bridge? Something to figure out another time. I've been told that monsters always turn against non-monsters eventually, particularly if the ancients are involved, I say casually. Some believe another rending is on the horizon, the monsters of legend ready to rise and plunge the world into chaos. Isn't the Atrium Empire scared to foster relations with a potential threat? As my line of questioning goes on, Rathwin grows more sober, stroking his beard as he ponders his response. I could answer that question from a few different perspectives. Does the Atrium Empire believe another cataclysm is imminent? Probably not. Do they view the colony as a threat? Probably not. There are those who have been preparing to fight the ancients themselves. What's one ant colony in the face of that? He holds up a hand to halt any quick response from me as he continues to think. Personally, I don't think there is any safe or easy way to eliminate ant monsters, which has been shown throughout history. Exterminating them is always difficult, always painful. Your colony would be an even worse opponent. Now, to answer for myself. I am indeed worried that the recent waves are indicating another rending may be on the way. I am also worried that the colony will turn against their allies, making our survival less likely, which means I find it difficult to support this trade alliance, considering the profits, in the form of cores, will strengthen your family considerably. That's refreshingly honest of you, I tell him. I'm not sure how it's all going to shake out either, but I really don't think the colony is going to be all that susceptible to the ancients. Until you meet one, who can say? Rathwin shrugs. Although, I have to admit, I feel a little more reassured after meeting you, Anthony. As you suspect, the contact of our minds gives me more information than it would to most, which is why I hold the post that I do. I knew it. If you would be so kind, I would love to hear more of your thoughts on the matter of the dungeon and our future. Someone in your position is bound to have a unique perspective, one that we don't get to hear very often. An ant perspective? I suppose not. Aside from me, have you ever spoken to one before? I haven't, but that's not what I meant. Oh, I swear he has a twinkle in his eye as he strokes that beard with one hand. I meant, as a former human, reborn in the dungeon as a monster. Chapter 1223. Anthony on tour. A wizard is never late, but they do yap too much. No problem. Not even a worry. Just play it cool. www.www.www would you SSSSS say that? Smooth. Rathwin holds up both palms to show he comes in peace. There are a few tells. First of all, you are the only ant I've connected minds to who has a male mental voice. He brings up a hand to point at his own temple. Our mental voice is essentially the same as the voice we think in. Every member of your family is female, and they all have female mental voices. I've exchanged words with a dozen of them at this market, but I'm willing to bet I won't find another who sounds anything like you. Am I right? www.whwww who can SSSSSSS saw say. Nice. Rathwin goes on, despite my master-level deception. There are simply too many aspects of the colony that don't make sense from the outside. Let's assume a monster, born in the dungeon, same as any other, found themselves in the unique position you did, able to manipulate the Queen's core and having the skills to do so. What do you think that theoretical monster would do? He waits for an answer patiently, and I try to unscramble my brain to give an unrevealing answer. Probably make smart ants. It seems smart. I'm like a buttered snail. Too damn smooth. I disagree, he states with a smile. Monsters prioritize speed and strength, almost always. It's only the more intelligent creatures that understand just how powerful an intellect can be. A regular ant, with regular evolutions, would never be smart enough to realize this. Now, a former human, born as an ant, with elevated intelligence compared to a regular monster. That's a different matter entirely. Then, I only need to consider what the colony is doing now. What are we doing now? You're making furniture. Monsters almost never trade, but when they do, they trade things they don't value but tend to come across naturally. Things they produce as a byproduct of their existence, or raw materials that fall inside their territory. They do not, as a rule, develop their own flavors of tea. He gives a slight shrug as if to say, what the heck am I supposed to think? And smiles up at me. I need to approach this situation carefully. Is it a problem if I was a human in a past life? What do you mean? Are there other mages monitoring this conversation, waiting to throw me in a cage? You don't have any reason to believe me, but no. Scholars in the tower, and I don't doubt elsewhere, have suspected your origins, but it's hard to be definitive without meeting you in person. He looks altogether too interested as he looks up at me, as if I'm a rare sample he's waited decades to get his hands on. Now, we aren't going to stick you in a cage and study you. But I would love to ask some questions. We've known about people from outside Pangara being born into this world as monsters for millennia, but it's almost impossible to find one that can hold a conversation. You'd probably have to get to us pretty quick, I agree. Every former human I've met has been a little off balance, to put it mildly. Without intervention, I think all of them would have gone crazy. Sarah would have, for sure. Lost to the rage and killed, without a doubt. Jim was saved by the Golgari, but he survived by hiding himself away. The isolation had already done a number on him by the time he was captured. Garalosh. Better not to think of Garalosh. She was barely there from the moment she arrived. I notice you don't include yourself in that list, Rathwin observes. Is there a reason for that? Me. Go crazy? No, I'd have been fine. Why? What do you mean? I mean, why wouldn't you have lost your mind, as you say everyone else would have? I'm not sure I understand the question. Why even compare us? Everyone else was dropped into a horrible situation, alone and frightened, forced to fight for their lives in a body they hated. My situation is completely different from theirs. Being alone, scraping by, trying to keep myself alive with only ants for company. That was life as a human as well as an ant. Not that much has changed, really. Personally, I think Gandalf chose me by mistake, but I'm not going to complain about it. If you want my perspective on the ancients, I say, moving the conversation forward, I think I'm going to ensure that they remain independent from outside influence. The colony is my family now, and I refuse to accept that they'll become mindless war machines in the service of some old monster. Not many would describe those creatures as some old monster, Rathwin observes wryly. I look at him sideways and from many other directions. You aren't in a cult, are you? Me, by the gold, no. Though, I shouldn't be surprised that they've been in touch with you. Look, I can see you aren't willing to spill too many of your secrets, which is fine. Though, I would love it if you could shed any light on one issue. Why is it that people like you are brought here? Nobody knows the answer to that question, though we have been thinking on it for many, many years. I mean, how much can I reasonably share here? How much should I share? I'm in a fairly unique position in that I've spoken to the one person who probably could give an answer, not that they want to. I suspect, I begin slowly, that there is a good reason for it, related to the function of the system itself. I just don't know enough about what that function is to explain how it's related. Rathwin sighs. That means you're pretty much in the same boat as the rest of us. If you happen to come up with any answers, do try and let me know. I'm not likely to swing past the Golden City anytime in the near or distant future. You are right, he says, stroking his beard again, I may need to get in contact with you. I will leave it here then, Anthony. A pleasure to speak with you again. Just like that, he breaks off the contact, gives a friendly wave, and then wanders off, towards the tea stalls, I note. What an odd person. Chapter 1224. Anthony on tour, furious sales. Everything must go. No matter how she tried, Enid couldn't keep the smile from her face, so she eventually stopped trying. The legendary Silver City, heartbeat of the most populous stratum of the dungeon, had turned out to see the colony go to work, and go to work they did. Ants were everywhere, forging, chopping, carving, shaping, using their skills honed through evolution, mutation, and most importantly, relentless hours of experimentation and practice. Around every stall was a small crowd of fascinated onlookers, watching, enthralled, as the monsters displayed their wares and abilities, a Brathian merchant close at hand to smile and speak, avarice gleaming beneath the surface. And it was working. Deals were being struck everywhere. People were walking away with goods tucked under their arms and satisfied expressions, merchants were haggling for distribution rights left and right. In the middle of it all, Iran found her, looking like the cat who got the cream. It's all going well, then. Enid laughed. Fabulously, the Brathian purred, eyes alight with the glow of gold. Our reputation has preceded us, and the people are flocking to see what all the fuss is about. Enid's eyes widened as she finally realized what had been happening. You expected Anthony to cause issues at the previous stops. By the time they reached this destination, the final and most critical of the trip, word of mouth had done the advertising for them. The crowds around Anthony weren't just there to see a powerful monster up close, they wanted to see the monster who'd done such damage to Greystone, outpettied the Magpie, and gone undefeated amongst the folk. Well, I didn't expect him to destroy half a mountain, Iran scowled, but yes, we anticipated that there would be some activity that would help to build a little buzz by the time we arrived here. You weren't worried his antics would scare people off instead. It was a gamble, and one we thought we'd lost after Greystone. Yet, even that worked in our favor. She looked around at the crowd with satisfaction. I knew if we managed to get eyes on the colony's work, then we would be successful. Quality is one thing, but price and quantity have a quality all of their own. Looking around, it certainly seemed as if that was the truth. Enid doubted the ants, especially Anthony, had any idea just how much wealth they were about to receive as a result of their trade. A flood of cores would flow into their nests, fueling the growth of generations of ants. Perhaps it would only make a dent against the number of cores they needed, but it would result in thousands and thousands more ants receiving full evolutions. "You're satisfied with the trip, then?" she asked the Brathian leader. "I think we've done about as well as we could have hoped," Iran replied, narrowing her eyes thoughtfully. "I thought you'd be out there, trading more directly, like you have elsewhere." The purple-scaled Brathian smirked. "The merchants here know better than to speak with me directly. They'll avoid exchanging words with me like others avoid disease. After my people have settled on preliminary terms, they'll turn negotiations over to me. I can't be cut out of the process entirely, since I have final say on all contracts involving the conglomerate." With a sigh, the lead negotiator for her people stretched and sat down next to the older human. Enid scooted over a touch to make space and they both leaned back against the pillar, the base of which they were sitting on. "I have to thank you for allowing me to accompany the trade mission," Enid said. "It's been a wonderful experience." Iran brushed her away. "Nonsense. You don't need to be thanking me at all. The colony insisted you should come. Ultimately, it was you who allowed it, so I am grateful." The two traders sat and watched the bustle around them, an island of calm in the midst of the swirling rush of bodies. "I always loved places like this," Enid said. "There's more exchange than just currency. Little moments, small interactions, a meeting of cultures, personalities and minds. It's a beautiful thing. Currency is enough," Iran said and smiled. "To suggest any different would be almost blasphemous to my people. Though, between the two of us, I do agree with you. I sincerely hope that the colony is able to survive into the future. I believe that they are peaceful at heart, and will continue to be so." In the distance, Anthony continued to strike pose after pose, the giant monster flexing his front legs or stretching himself out to impress the onlookers. "As long as Anthony is around, I think they will be. Without that leadership, I'm not as sure," Enid admitted. "In that case, let us pray for long life and good health for that ridiculous ant. May the dungeon be kind to him and his people. I need it to be, since I will accrue tremendous wealth the more time passes." "You're giving a fat percentage to the colony thanks to that ridiculous ant, remember?" Iran winced. "I'd rather forget about that, if I'm being honest." They sat side by side in companionable silence for a few more minutes before Iran eventually stood. "Time to go and finalize some deals," she announced, a wicked twinkle lighting up in her eye. Chapter 12:25. Anthony on tour, departing the great city. Sales have gone well, or so I'm told, and by the time the market has finished and everything is getting packed up, the night of the fourth stratum is falling. Now, in a stratum filled with water and light mana, it's rainbows and sunshine pretty much non-stop down here, but it does wax and wane slightly. The upshot is that half the time it's brighter, half the time it's a bit more dim. Aka, night time, standing, or flopping, on my platform, I watch as all the ants around me deconstruct their stalls with pride. And a little bit of relief. It's been fun, this trading adventure, getting to see all these different places and interacting with people that a monster such as myself wouldn't normally get a chance to speak with. I've enjoyed the trip, but it's time to go home. I want to feel the walls of the nest close in around me. Have my family members crawling over my carapace and feel the will of the colony thundering through the vestibule. Let's not forget the grub tickling also. I've gone far too long without grub tickling. As much as all of this merchant business is going to benefit the family, there are other important things to do. The cleansing of the fifth stratum is my top priority at the moment, followed by trying to find a way to get the endlessly painful call ripped out of my guts. Quite honestly, ripping it out would be less painful than what I'm feeling right now. I assume. I don't know what it would be like to remove the darn thing. All ready to go? I ask Tungstant. Just about, yes, she replies. We were able to get rid of almost all of our stock, so there isn't nearly as much for us to pack. Even the raw materials like ingots and wood have been sold to builders and craftsmen. We'll be bringing only a tenth of what we left with. A resounding success. I congratulate her. Well done, Tungstant. You've done incredible work to keep this whole thing running smoothly. The carvers have done the colony proud. Thank you, eldest, she preens, clacking her mandibles happily. They've been working diligently to master all of the trades in this world, and I'm confident our skill will only improve going forward. I've got no doubt about that. I mean, that's the nature of the system. The more you do something, the better you get at it, but I think she's referring to more than that. To truly excel, experimentation, lateral thinking, and creative application are all required, alongside relentless grind. My siblings have the endless grind aspect down to a fine art, but still need practice thinking outside the box. Only a few individuals, such as Smith and or Solent, have shown a complete disregard to conventional ways of ant thinking. Honestly, I hope their way of going about things spreads to the rest of the family. I find Iran Thoris and extend a mind bridge towards her. Hello, are we heading straight to the ships from here? Yes, we are. No need to stay any longer than necessary. Despite some unexpected calamities along the way, our mission has been a success. Judging by the look on her face, it went very well. A lot of gold flowing into the coffers of the conglomerate then, I take it. More than expected, she smirks, then switches to a scowl with startling speed. Don't forget you're getting a fat percentage of those profits. What's good for us is also good for you. A fat percentage? I consider it barely adequate. We can renegotiate it if you wish. I would rather not. Thought so. When all is ready, I once again take my place at the head of the column as we make our way out of the city. Even now, people turn out to see us walk by, this strange collection of Brathians and ants marching down the wide silver streets towards the dock. A thought occurs to me. Did we ever find Bane again? I ask. I don't remember seeing the priest, or asking after him, since he ran off to the library. At the time, it seemed like a convenient way to get rid of him, but I think it would be poor form if we actually left him behind. He rejoined us during the market, eldest. Did you want me to go and get him for you? Tungsten tells me. What? Heck no. I mean, no thanks. I just wanted to make sure we didn't leave anyone behind. Not to worry, eldest, we did a full head count before we left the market. Good thinking. Down through the broad streets we go, surrounded by silver that gleams under the light of the 4th. Eventually, we find our way down to the docks after getting through the checkpoints in the massive wall that rings the city. For once, I'm perfectly content to see my ship waiting for me. The wide tub. Oh, reliable. It'll be a while sitting on the boat before we get home, but I'm looking forward to getting underway. There's the usual pileup on the dock itself as we line up and try to get ourselves onto the boats in good order. It takes a while, but we get loaded on, and I find myself in my customary position, flat out on my belly, legs extended through the rails, watching as the wall begins to move away. Hopefully Tiny, Chrysalis, Nvidia and Sarah came out of their evolutions all right. I've missed the gang terribly. It's been weird being out and about in the dungeon without them. Really looking forward to getting the squad back together. Nothing to worry about now except the journey home. I settle down, letting my antennae flop forward as I prepare to go into torpor. I don't doubt the Brathian mages are keen to get home, and this ship is going to be absolutely flying through the water. Time to snooze. Except, what is that? Ellipsis. What the heck is that? I weave together a mind bridge and snap it out to Iran. We have to go back. What? Why? Is something wrong? Something is very wrong. Turn this ship around. We need to go back. But, we don't have docking permissions. They won't let us back inside the city. Then I'll go myself. I gather gravity mana into myself, weaving a well that I can use to lift myself off the ship. All the while, I hear one of my siblings crying out to me through the vestibule. Don't worry, I'm coming. Chapter 1226. Anthony on tour, plea. Where is it coming from? It's hard to tell. I dive deep into the vestibule, following that single thread of wool, trying to trace it back to the source. The ant is in pain, wanting to be saved. Wanting me to save them. Just what could be happening? What is going on? You have to be calm, Anthony. I don't understand. What is the matter? Iran tries to calm me. We have left an ant behind and they are being hurt. I will not wait. The moment my gravity well is ready, I cast it and lift myself off the ship. It takes a little while, but I begin to rise rapidly. As I desperately try to determine where my missing sibling might be found, I snap out another mind bridge to Tungsten. One of us has been left behind in the city and they are under attack. Organize a quick head count so we can find out who's missing. What? She gasps. I'll do it immediately. Come on. I know you're in there somewhere. But where? I rise up, the silver city gleaming before me, stretching so far, and climbing so high. Above that rests the golden city, a hazy cloud far above me. Damn it, I have to be able to squeeze more out of the vestibule. Where the heck are they? I grab hold of that wavering thread and tug on it, trying to trace it to its source. It's thin, far away. How did they move her so far away from the rest of us so quickly? A gate, it's above, the Golden City. With a thought, I work my gravity well and rise even faster, whipping up into the air. Faster, damn it, this stupid mountain is hundreds of kilometers tall, it'll take forever to reach the top. Iran is still trying to reach me with a mind bridge, but I rebuff her attempts. If the Brathians can't help me right now, then they're pretty much useless. I'll have to do this by myself. I know who's done this. Or at least, I heavily suspect who it is. That Grand Priest just couldn't resist. I seriously didn't think he'd try and take one of us while we were guests in the city, but his greed must have got hold of him. He won't get a second chance. If I don't get my sibling back, then there is going to be hell to pay. No, I can't think like that. I will get her back, and there will still be hell to pay. I pull more mana into myself, converting it into gravity mana and preparing a few spells, keeping them under control for the time being. Who knows what I might need to get in there and bust my sibling out. More mind constructs begin to reach out to me, coming from the city, but I push them away. The Golden City is growing in my vision as I draw ever closer. It's like a vision of heaven, but in this moment, I couldn't care less. Through the vestibule, I receive a constant stream of distress that I latch onto and home in on. I'm coming, damn it. A burst of light flashes incredibly bright, momentarily blinding me, but I don't stop moving. Well, I don't stop moving until I run into the solid wall of air that snaps into place. More mind bridges, trying to snap onto me, but I force them away and rip into the wall with my mandibles and minds. In moments, it crumbles away and I am rising again, only for another to form in seconds. When my vision clears, I realize what is happening. The flash of light was a group of mages using some sort of teleport spell, like brilliant. They've appeared several hundred meters away and are using their magic to bind me in place. What the heck? I haven't even done anything wrong. Begrudgingly, I allow one of them to connect to me, one I recognize. Rathwin, what the heck are you doing up here? I can see him raise a brow from all the way back where I am, stuck in a box of air. Not that he appears calm. He looks rather concerned really. I think the more appropriate question is, what the heck are you doing up here? Now that the trade mission is over and your fleet has departed, you no longer have legal grounds to enter the city. If you want to come back inside, you'll need to apply at the port like everyone else. One of my siblings has been abducted, I tell him shortly. Now let me loose so I can retrieve them. You have 5 seconds. I mean, I'm being super patient with them, given the situation. There is furious discussion amongst the mages, but when 5 seconds passes, Rathwin hasn't gotten back to me. So I rip their cage apart and begin to rise once more. When they attempt to reform it, I'm ready and shred their mana before it can solidify around me. Anthony, wait, you can't do this. There are proper channels you have to go through. One of my siblings is dying, Rathwin. You think I'm going to wait for red tape? The man is clearly out of his mind. He needs a nap, a cup of tea, a sabbatical. Why else would he raise this irrelevant nonsense? We don't have any evidence that your claim is true. He cries desperately as the mages continue to attempt to bind me. I don't even know how you could possibly know what you are claiming to know. Give us a little time to verify your claim in the... Nope. If I couldn't sense the endless stream of distress pouring through the vestibule, I might have listened to what Rathwin had to say, I might have been patient and worked through the necessary channels, but that isn't the world I'm living in. My sibling is in pain. Great pain. I have no idea what the heck is being done to them, or why, but it sure as heck isn't a pleasant experience. Another second of delay is intolerable to me. The mages continue to attempt to stifle me as Rathwin pleads for patience, but I cut off his mind bridge and use my many mental constructs to rip into their attempts to slow or stop me. Forget about being delayed, I need to go even faster. Chapter 12:27, Anthony on Tour, Golden Wall. Pushing my mastery over the gravity well to its limits, I begin to rocket upwards toward the Golden City. Enshrouded by luminous clouds, the city radiates a warm light, turning the mist into a halo. Somewhere beyond that obstruction, my sibling is waiting. Frustration is boiling up inside me with every passing second. I just wish I understood what was happening. The thread of will connecting me and the captive is thinning, growing weaker, and I have no idea why. What the heck are they doing to her in there? Why is she growing so weak? How is her will being sapped? The questions don't matter, I can push them aside. Who cares what they are doing in there, I'm going to save her anyway. The closer I get, the better I'm able to home in on her location. It's not easy to see clearly through the ever-present cloud that hovers around the Atrium capital, but I'm starting to home in on the location. Unsurprisingly, I catch glimpses of a vast cathedral right where I believe the will is flowing from. Because of course I do. Now that I have a location, I rocket forwards as fast as I can possibly fall, if you take my meaning. Turns out a creature with my mass can fall rather quickly. Another flash of light blinds me as I assume Rathwin and co teleport in again. I'd really like to know how they do that, but I don't have time for lessons right now. Nor do I have time to deal with their nonsense. Once again, I dedicate a portion of my minds to fending off their attempts to restrain me, or form a mental bridge. However, one of them manages to bend and twist their mana in such a way that it eludes my grasp, zigging and zagging this way and that until finally it snags onto me and the bridge snaps into place. Of course it was Rathwin. How in the heck do you even do that? It's an advanced technique, but that's beside the point. You have to stop. You're about to rush into the Golden City. Well, yes, of course I am. What else would you expect me to do? A member of my family has been captured and might be dying down there. I'd rather not be violent, but you and the squad here need to get the heck out of my way. These are fellow scholars from the tower, not officials or soldiers, and we are trying to save you. The Golden City is one of the most protected places in all of Pangura. If you think you can get in there safely, then you are very wrong. You have to wait. Of course they are going to try and stop me, I knew that going in. It simply doesn't matter. Brushing aside the mages, I home in on the cathedral and orient myself towards it. If all goes well, I'll drop on that stupid building like an ant-shaped comet. Once I crash through the roof, I can start hunting around for the missing ant. Hopefully, not too many bystanders get caught up in the mess, but honestly, that's not my priority. I have to find and rescue the captive as quickly as I possibly can. If you get much closer, the city is going to defend itself. Rathwin warns me, his mental voice growing desperate. I ignore him. Let them defend themselves. The majority of them probably have no idea what is going on, all they see is a giant monster flying at them. It probably happens every now and again, some big bad monster from the dungeon trying to get into the massive shiny city. I don't doubt they have 1,000 ways to smite such creatures out of the sky, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going. All of my senses come alive the closer I get. The golden cloud blocks a lot of my sight, but my mana sense is as sharp and active as I can make it. Whatever is going to come my way, I'm as ready to deal with it as I can be. In the back of my mind, I'm hoping I can just force my way through the initial barrage, get into the cathedral, and save my sibling before things get too out of hand. If I can show others that I was on a rescue mission, hopefully they won't go too crazy trying to hunt me down. Once I've saved this poor ant, everything can cool off, I just have to get there. What is this little creature that disturbs my slumber? Ah, nads. When a powerful wave of thought rolls over me, my heart sinks deep in my thorax as I try to desperately find the source of the voice. I've only heard one mental communication that comes close to this, and that was Torifex. I killed that guy, so hopefully I can deal with whatever this is as well. Better yet, I hope they decide not to fight me at all. I'm not a threat to the city. I hope. Where the heck is this monster? That's when I see it. The eye. At first, I think it's in the cloud, a giant monster, obstructed by the cloud which glows in the golden light emitted from the city. Then my perspective shifts, and I get a better sense of what I'm seeing. The eye is made of the cloud. Then the entire thing ripples. The entire ring of fluffy, golden cloud, ripples, draws in, and suddenly, it isn't a cloud at all. It's a long, coiled, dragon, staring at me with eyes of liquid gold, each the side of my entire head. A bold creature, to come so brazenly into my domain. A giant, clawed hand scrapes through the sky, reaching for me, and I start to wonder just how the heck I'm going to get past this stupid thing. Chapter 1228, Anthony on Tour, Dragon of Golden Clouds. Look, if I'm being honest, it's not that easy to steer when flying via gravity well. Manipulating the thing takes a lot of energy and focus. I'm basically doing something like controlled falling. It's hard. Now, in my head, I imagine doing a nice swoop and nimbly slipping away from the gigantic half-cloud, half-claw coming towards me, but in practical terms, it doesn't work out that way. Instead, I just slam directly into it. The claws begin to close around me, but I'm not having that. With a mighty chomp, I bite deep, hoping the dragon isn't too mad about having its digits munched on. Turns out I didn't need to worry, because my jaws pass straight through as what had appeared to be solid returns to puffy cloud the moment my mandibles touch it. Then I'm through, falling toward the gravity well and descending on the city like a meteor. I'm going to make such a big hole in that shiny golden roof, they have no idea what's coming. I'm white hot with rage to the point I feel like my carapace is on fire. My head is still filled with what I'm going to do once I get inside the cathedral, that I don't immediately realize that the dragon situation isn't quite so easily resolved. The cloud that hovers around the city is swirling and dancing as the enormous monster forms and reforms itself constantly. As fast as I'm moving, the dragon is faster, much faster, and it doesn't take long until I'm totally surrounded by cloud. Hoping I can perhaps persuade this creature to leave me alone, I decide to broadcast a message. With a little luck, my reliable Anthony charm will allow me to talk it down. A member of my family has been captured and taken into the Golden City. I'm just going in there to rescue her. There's no immediate response, so I just concentrate on falling as fast as I can toward my target. Yes, I sense the creature you speak of. Oh shoot, so it knows I'm not lying or trying to attack the city. I feel a burst of optimism. I might not have to fight this thing after all. Hey, that's cool then, right? You can just let me go down and get her, then I'll leave. Won't take more than a minute. Maybe 2 minutes. 3, let's say 5 to be safe. Then I'm out of your hair, clouds. Okay, rings of cloud twist around me, flashes of scales and claws appearing and vanishing as fast as I see them. It will not be so, little one. My master orders me to stop you, and so I must. Wait, orders? You're a pet, I exclaim incredulously. The dragon doesn't reply, possibly not all that pleased at being described as a pet, as it shouldn't, considering it's tier 8, or maybe even tier 9. I can feel the incredible power radiating from the monster, so I know for sure it's at least more highly evolved than I am. That doesn't mean I'll lose, but it does mean I can't win quickly. In this instance, winning quickly is the only thing that matters. At least I know there's no chance I can reason with the beast. If it's a pet, then it can't refuse a direct order, no matter what. Even if the dragon and I end up being best buds, drinking tea and playing whatever games friends play together, I don't know, it won't matter. If the master says stop me, then stop me it will. Or at least, it'll try. Clouds around me shift and reform. Suddenly, there are claws all around me, closing in fast. How in the heck does it do that? That's so crazy. How is it fair if its body can be there sometimes and not there the rest? Where the heck does it go? Void Chomp. I'm not messing around. I unleash my strongest bite, activating the skill but not empowering it with the altar. I might be topped off with will right now, but there's not a lot flowing into the thing with only 10,000 ants in range. I can't afford to waste that precious energy. The black mandibles of pure energy form and then slam shut with a ferocious howl, the void drawing the cloud-formed claws inwards before severing them all. And, of course, they dissolve back into nothing, only for a new set to form a second later. Void Chomp. If I have to chomp all the way down to the ground, then I will. I'm not stopping. I don't see the tail coming. Of course I don't. How the heck am I supposed to see anything with all of this darn cloud in the way? Crack. It certainly doesn't feel like I was hit in the face with a nice puffy cloud, it feels like being hit in the face with a brick wall. The force of the impact rattles through my carapace and sends me flying backwards, but I maintain my grip on the well throughout. Once my momentum bleeds out, there's only one way for me to fall, and believe it or not, it isn't straight down. It's towards that blighted cathedral. Do not be stubborn. It will only result in your death. Look, I'm not trying to bother you or anything, or your master for that matter, but a member of my family is down there, so I am going. If you want to stop me, you're going to have to do a heck of a lot more than slap me around. It sounds good in my head, the dragon seems like a reasonable sort, it'll understand where I'm coming from, but once the words are out there, I realize that the creature I'm talking to doesn't actually have a choice in the matter. If that is what it will take, then that is what I will deliver. Nice, Anthony. Real nice. Chapter 1229. Anthony on tour, you're not a dragon. You're just a chicken. Light flashes, wind roars, but this time, I'm ready for it. The onrushing tail parts the clouds at the last possible moment, mere meters away from my eyes. With my reflexes, and actually understanding what my antennae are trying to tell me, I can deal with it. Maneuvering through the air using force magic isn't exactly easy. Alright, it's just about impossible, but using a blast to flip my body up so I can use my legs to push myself over the sweeping tail. I can manage that. Ha, I'm clear, and I'm still falling toward my target. How do you like that, dragon? Not much, apparently, the claws are back. I don't want to hurt you, but I know you don't have a choice but to fight me. Well, I don't have a choice either. So, I'm sorry about this. There's no way I can slip past this monster, not when it's seriously trying to stop me. I can only think of one thing that might distract it long enough for me to get through. Hoowel. Now, it's not full power, or pumped up with the energy from the altar, but even a moderate gravity bomb is enough to cause serious issues to most things in the dungeon. Even in this situation, I try to be considerate to the city and I fire it at an angle where it's not going to impact the capital, but it's going to suck up an awful lot of cloud on its way through the air. My hope is that it will consume part of the monster's body and make it more difficult for it to stop me getting to where I want to go. Sadly, things don't pan out that way. I notice a few things at the same time. The cloud, unlike the air around me, is not being sucked into the gravity bomb, and this time there are several tails swinging through the air towards me. Even with all my defensive noose, I can't see a way to avoid being hit. I lash out with my mandibles against one, tuck my legs to make sure they don't break, and take the other hit full on. Once again, it batters me backwards, sending me flying through the air and rattles my noggin, but ultimately, it only slows me down. My gravity bomb continues to sail through the air, decidedly not devouring the golden cloud as I'd hoped before it expands off in the distance. Lots of air is pulled in, sure, but depressingly, still no cloud. This leads me to one, rather depressing conclusion. The clouds aren't even real. No wonder this stupid dragon is so twisty and able to reform itself however it likes, it isn't even here. Here I was thinking it was some sweet evolution that gave it a cloud body or something. You aren't even up here, are you? I demand of the creature. None of this cloud is your real body. But I can sense the presence of a powerful monster. A super powerful monster. So it has to be around somewhere. I only show myself when necessary. The monster sounds almost amused at having been discovered, as if this is all some kind of joke. Why don't you hide yourself when necessary instead? I retort in fury. I have a sister down there on the verge of death. Let me through. If not that, then save her yourself. There is a slight pause as the dragon, well, I don't even know if it's a dragon anymore, considers my words. I have not been instructed to save the ant, so I will not. Wait, so you told your master about it? I have, and they won't help me. I roar, outraged. I do not know. I am forbidden to manifest my power within the city, so I cannot save your sister. There's a shift in the light around me, the clouds parting, no, not parting, dissolving, blowing away like snow until the entire golden city is displayed before me, unobstructed. I have no eyes for it, I only see the cathedral. Through the vestibule, I feel desperation, pain, and misery, growing weaker and weaker with every passing moment. It is difficult for me to appear in my true form. The mana here is so thin, but I can see you will not be dissuaded unless you know that you cannot win. The entire city seems to glow ever brighter, until it radiates like a golden sun. The sense I had, that of a powerful monster, grows stronger, and I realize what I was sensing wasn't close by, it was in fact, quite far away. Above the city, the light begins to coalesce into one, cohesive form. FWUMPH. 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 I hear the beat of giant wings. Not just hear, feel. The amount of air being moved is staggering. After I hear them, I see them. It's a bird. A big, super big bird. This thing must have a wingspan well over 100 meters. It's gigantic. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. I summon all of my gravity mana. I'm not going to be able to hold back on this one. I'm sorry about the city, and I hope the repair bill is manageable, but if it isn't, I don't really care. It's hard to make out the direct features of this eagle, or whatever. The entire thing seems to be made of light. I sure as heck hope that means it's vulnerable to gravity, because if not, I don't fancy my odds with fireballs. Still beating those massive wings, it leans forward, neck extending, and opens its beak. My antennae scream at me. Nar. A massive, condensed, beam of light blasts forward, filling my vision, and before I know it, I'm burning. My carapace feels like it's on fire, but that isn't even what concerns me the most. I'm flying backwards. The damn bird has blasted me away. No. After what seems like way too short a time I smack into something and it immediately begins to sizzle. Steam fills the air and I realize I just hit the surface of the lake. My superheated diamond carapace fizzes and pops as the water around me boils away. Smoke is rising from my antennae, but I don't care. The golden city gleams, so far away now. I'll be damned if this glowing turkey is going to stop me. I'll be damned if I let that happen. Triggering my healing gland, I feel the cool rush of the regenerative fluid pump through my body as I pull in more and more mana. A gravitational mana construct spins and whirs and I pump out thick strands of energy, weaving it into the shape I desire. Another gravity well takes shape, and I begin to rise once more. Chapter 1230. Anthony on tour, rise to the challenge. Okay, it's not looking good. I can see that. Big Bird can see that. A blind mole in the second stratum can see that. Regenerative fluid pumps through my body, icy cold, and I feel my insides begin to unroast themselves. Holy moly, that light attack was no joke. Not only was it scorching hot, there was a lot of force behind it, enough to blast me all the way back down to the water. I weave the gravity mana as dense as I can, producing a powerful gravity well. I'm going to need it, since I've been sent so far away. I'm literally dozens of kilometers away from where I was hit. The ray of light managed to push me out of range of my previous gravity well, and with nothing tethering me to that point, my only option was to fall. Not that I did much falling, I think that beam reached just about all the way to the water. When it's ready, I spin up the well and lift myself up from the water, accelerating as quickly as I can. The giant bird is still there, a creature of light and air, its magnificent wings beating slowly. Dimly, I'm aware of the hubbub in the city, people stopping and pointing, looking up at this huge guardian beast who probably doesn't manifest all that often. Lucky me. As I rise, I continue to suck in all the mana I can, converting it to gravity mana and then stuffing it into a familiar, dark sphere. I didn't want it to come to this, but I don't have a choice. It was enough to rock Greystone. I'm hoping a full-powered blast will be enough to keep this bird off my back long enough to get into the city. The monster told me itself, it isn't allowed to do anything inside the city. So long as I can get past it, it can't stop me from rescuing my sibling. Beyond that, I'll just slam my head into the ground and accept the repercussions. It doesn't matter what they aren't as bad as losing a family member. As I rise, faster and faster, I make sure I don't draw too close to the bird until I'm ready. That light beam isn't only powerful, it's fast. A gravity bomb takes a bit of time to prepare, so I won't approach until I've got something I can fire back. Well, that's the plan anyway. The bird doesn't quite agree with my terms. My antennae give me the first warning and acting on pure reflex I manage to adjust my trajectory as a lance formed of pure light strikes down from above, barely missing. What the heck? In the distance, the enormous monster continues to flap its vast wings, almost in slow motion. I didn't see it do anything. Where did that beam come from? My mind scattered to the winds, seeking out any signs in the mana around me, and eventually I find something, right before my antennae scream at me again. Holy moly, I tilt to the right, almost in time to avoid it. My front left leg gets roasted as the beam sizzles past me. This damned bird, it's manipulating mana so far away from itself that it boggles the mind. Far away from me too, I almost couldn't detect the gathering light mana at the limits of my range. But I can detect it. With a portion of my mind constructs dedicated to detection, I'm able to pick up on the gathering light rays. Just before they discharge, I whip together a little force mana to shift my position in the air once they fire. It's risky. If the bird predicts my movement and guesses correctly, I'll just get roasted. The light strikes so quickly it's practically impossible to tell if it's moving or if it just appears. I mean, it's light. Of course it's fast. What I didn't expect was the devastating power of it. Using this method, I managed to get myself close enough without taking another hit, despite having to dodge over a dozen times. Hello again, Big Bird. FWUMPH. FWUMPH. The giant bird continues to hover, each stroke of the wings feeling as if they rearrange the sky. I am called the Light Phoenix, Raman. What's wrong with Big Bird? No response. Fair enough, Raman it is. Listen, my sibling is still alive in there, so I'm going to keep coming, but I should ask, is your master going to do anything about it? If the child emperor is about to mount a rescue of my sister, then all's well and good, I can wait, a little. FWUMPH. FWUMPH. My master will not intervene. The price is too high for a single ant. Are those your words? They are not. Huh, well, I feel a little less bad about doing this, then. No hard feelings, Raman. Not going to help rescue the innocent. You can deal with this gravity bomb instead. I dump the last reserves of energy from my gravitational mana gland into the bomb, empower it with the altar, and let it rip. Such an outpouring of energy leaves me feeling physically weak, but the bomb springs to life with its trademark cry. www. The moment it appears, the air is whipped into a hurricane, sucked into the rapidly moving ball of doom. Light fades where it passes, bending and twisting on its edge. In the distance, Ramon continues to beat his wings as the spell rockets directly toward him. I adjust the gravity while I still maintain control of and orient myself towards the cathedral. My only hope is that the Phoenix is too occupied with the bomb to stop me from reaching the building. To that end, I begin to fall as quickly as possible. Stay strong, sister. I'll reach you, I swear.